There we go, Gerry. We're live again. Sunday afternoon. Sunday. Well, it's Easter, folks. Happy Easter to everybody here. And we do got a couple shout outs we'll make here. I know there's there's people that were first, second, third, and having a battle and like WWE or WWME and all that stuff. We know All Good wasn't first because I saw her in there, but Dan, All Good, first, last, David Hibson, and Citizen of the Year, Cody, is what we like to call him. Welcome, greetings, salutations, or whatever it's called, sanitations. It's definitely not called that, but welcome on a Easter or I guess Sunday afternoon, evening, depending on where you're at. We had a great day today. It was like 75 out here. It's getting to be shorts and parka weather out here. Walking weather. What about you, Gerry? Is it like 80, 85, 90 where you're at?
Yeah, it was in the 80s. It was low 80s, I think, today. Really nice. Really nice. Wow. That's about how I like it. Anything over that, I'm just kind of like dying. I'm a cold weather guy, so not a super cold weather guy. Yeah, not a super cold weather guy. I don't know about that. I don't think I even own a pair of pants anymore.
I think my issue with it being warm here in April like this, I hope we get another freak snowstorm in like late April or something like that. I want to kill off all the spiders. I don't want a long spider season. I don't want them to get big. I'm on the first floor here, and those suckers come in, and man, they're wolf spiders too, so they're pretty big. And yeah, I hope the snowstorm comes in and just pulverizes them. But
pest control doesn't take care of those?
Nah, I got to take care of myself. I got to put mint and all this other shit around. But yeah, people didn't come here to talk about spiders, unless we're talking about spider ETS, of course.
Could be, yeah.
Everybody, we're basically. I just want to talk about. If you just saw this, you saw the thumbnail. It's not because we're constipated and we're drinking prune juice here. Basically, yeah, sorry about that, Gerry.
I honestly, on the thumbnail, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is that?
That's what my parents did. Must have been like, 5, 6, 7 years old. Prune juice, man. Man, that shit was nasty. Yeah, no, the prune juice was just to kind of show that it's dried out and wrinkly and whatever, that premium has been tough. It's been tough to put on. And I've noticed it. And normally you probably wouldn't notice, especially if you came into options right now, you really wouldn't notice it. You're like, whatever, But I've noticed it. I'm having a hard time putting premium on, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks out. And normally I'd be able to have anywhere from 12 to 1,500 premium out for every week going out, 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'm lucky if I can get, 6, 7, 800 out, out 3 weeks in a row. And so it's been tough. I did make $2,500 for the month of March. So I did salvage March. IB, for some reason, shows that it was a 6% return. I don't know how they're calculating that. In April, we had basically one trading day of April so far. That was April Fool's Day. And I'm up $500 for April already. I did add another $49K to my account. So I'm up to $255 in that account. So yeah, the 2% does scale. So when you put more money in there, it's 2% of everything that's in there. So that's technically $5,000 I need to make every month. We'll see how this month goes. So why don't you maybe just recap how your March did, and then maybe how your April started off on April Fool's Day?
Yeah. So March, I actually ended up. If you missed my dividend update, I actually ended up down in realized premium about $200. Now, I actually am not displeased with that from the rolls and the losses that I took in March. Now, Interactive Brokers has me up 9% for March. So I know that sounds stupid, right? It sounds stupid, but if you think about it, a roll, the way your net liquidation works, right? Your net liquidation value, when you roll something, you take the loss, but you also bring in the cash to cover that loss. So it's really not a loss. So a roll is a loss, but it's not a loss. I know that just blows people's mind when I say that. So, you know, my account, it's delayed. So my account is actually up, you know, about $4,500 for the month of March, even though realized premium options are down $200. So that's kind of explains that a little bit. So March, I'm actually extremely pleased with the way the first 2 weeks of March went, that I ended up only down 200. April, just like you, you know, that first, I think we only had 1 day of April, right?
April 1st.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, so, you know, I cleared about $130 on April 1st. And hey, Hulin, I hope I say that name right. Every time I see
you
it,
said it first.
yeah, I knew you were going to try to say it, but hello, good to see you too. So I agree. Premium is hard to find. I'm running super light. Some of you that kind of know me, that I usually run about 60% of buying power, or however you want to call it. I run hot as far as buying power to net liquidation. I've been last week I was running in the mid 30s into Thursday, and I didn't put anything on Thursday, I don't believe, or Wednesday, or no, Wednesday I didn't. Thursday I finally broke down at the end of the trading day, and I had to sell. I just had to sell something. I had to put something on for the 3-day weekend. So I put a Tesla 440 on just so it can burn over the weekend. But I've been having a very tough time finding premium to put on. Now, you know, you can still put stuff on. It's just not as profitable as it used to be.
Correct.
The markets go up. I mean, it's just not there anymore. So
you got to put more contracts on, or you got to get more aggressive on your strikes. It's the only way to make the difference up. I might do a combination of both of those. Well, I mean, you know, hey, we closed out March. It wasn't as bad as we thought, you know, all considering, you know, it was like all hell was breaking loose just a few weeks ago, you know, and we recovered from that. We adjusted. We didn't do as much tech or whatever, but with that VIX where it's at, you know, I think it was down $2 on Thursday alone. I mean, we need some speculation. We need some, you know, some news that the market's not anticipating to spike that some biatch up. So we get some more premium, but we'll see. You know, see how April does. I mean,
I mean, this could
might be tough, but we'll see.
It could be tough. And this is where things get interesting, because, you know, I know a lot of people say, well, just look for the high IV plays, the high implied volatility plays, and
right.
A lot of times that can get you into trouble. So I really don't pay attention to high volatility plays, just because, you know, the reason why they're high volatility, right? They're risky. So
I mean,
I'm not into that.
Yeah, I'm about as high IV as you go, huh?
Yeah. You know, I'm older. You know, me and you are. I think you're older than me, but
I don't know about that.
We're not in the risk game, right? We're in more of a let's hold on to our stuff and try to grow it. You know what I mean?
Well, this is interesting. I'm just pulling up the 52 IVR on it, by the way. Tesla's a 9.
Yeah, that's nothing.
T's at 11. What is going on there?
T's run up. I think that might play a role in that. And, you know, Tesla's kind of been in a range here lately.
And RK is like 29, by the way. So maybe we'll be looking up some RKs instead of some Teslas. I don't know. Let me do this. You know, Hulin. You know, thank Gerry for saying that one. I probably would have butchered it. Sorry. Hey, greetings there. Welcome to the live stream. I haven't seen you here before. I've seen your name though. Gage, welcome. Yeah, I don't know. Been doing it for what? Almost 10 weeks now?
Yeah, 10 weeks? At least a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months. Let's see, MDB. Oh, Get prepared for those questions, Gerry. Dan. Happy Easter, Dan. Invest to retire. I thought this was normal. Oh, yeah. I think he's talking about the premium, is my guess. And, of course, we will do a shout out to good old Gerry's wife there, Carrie, just to protect ourselves if we ever went to prison or whatever. I don't want to become some bitch boy for somebody to protect me. Oh, April Fool's. Yeah, that was an April Fool's joke, right, Randy? I don't know if he ever came clean on it or not. So,
oh yeah, just to clear that up, that's not my Discord server.
Yeah. I'm looking at my positions right now. I got 16 positions on, 40 contracts, and I'm 38% buying power utilized. And right before the market closed on Thursday, I put a Tesla on and I put an Amazon on, which ate up a bunch of buying power. So I was running very, very lean. And I'm going to have to change the strategy a little bit, I think. I'm going to have to go with a little bit more aggressive strikes, I think. I'll go up to the 7%, 8%, maybe as high as 10% on some things. We'll try that out, see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm looking. This might be a time to do a wheel strategy, and on things that you really want to.
Tax deferred account like you do, where I could do it though.
Why does it matter?
That's a big deal. I'm already doing.
Yeah. Why does it matter?
I just don't want to own common, I guess, in there.
That is true. That is true. But this could be a time where if you're getting into some things that you want to get into, that you have no problem getting into, something like a T, you sell that sucker at the money and be probably okay, right?
I actually think I have 10 contracts on T right now. I was just like, you know what? 5750. Was it 50? Was that O or is that T?
No, that's O.
Yeah.
You did O.
50. I think I had 10 contracts on O and 10 on T. No, 3 on T. Yeah, 10 on O. I'm all over the place, obviously, at this point. I always try to have some spies on, always some TQQs/QQQs on. But I think this week, I got to take advantage. I got a chunk of change showing up in the account that's got to get put to use. So, Thumper and Randy, we've all had this discussion before, like more contracts or more aggressive strikes, right? Like which way do you go there, and that's debatable. That's a tough one. I think Thumper has a valid point, but I do as well. Like I think his point might be more valid, like where you can just add to it if it goes down, but I don't know if I really want to deal with stuff that gets tested and rolled and all that. If I don't have to, I go with size more than anything, I guess. At first I thought this thumbnail was a coffee bean. Is it one of those coffee beans that gets shit out? What are those called? It was Morgan Freeman was talking about it in one of those movies or whatever.
Oh yeah. I actually made a video on that way back. Would you drink bird poop coffee?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not a coffee bean, but
I thought it was actually
it's a prune.
I thought it was a ugly ass beanbag, the old school beanbags.
Oh yeah, there's some really nice ones out now. Let's see here. All I know about options I learned from Gerry: buy QLD, make money. Yeah, well, QLD is great, but with options, I mean, you can make double what QLD makes pretty easily. What we're talking about here is even making more, more than the 2%. 2% is the minimum. So this will be a good challenge or a good test if the VIX stays where it's at, and if we can still make the 2%, right? And I'm talking about like a realized 2%. I don't know what IBKR is doing to calculate it or whatever. It said at 6% last month. It's like I don't know what it's doing. I added a cash to it, so I don't know what it's doing there. QLD. I'm not sold on QLD, by the way. I can thank Gerry for that. So he got a lot of people into it. It's just I don't like the mystery of what they're doing behind the scenes. I don't like the fact that they pay out more than they earn. I don't like that. So I'm more of a Jeppy person personally. Let's let the debate start on that one, Gerry.
Fair enough. No, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Wanted to follow Gerry on Tesla play, chickened out. I don't understand. I think we talked about this last night, but I don't understand why people chicken about Tesla specifically. Yes, it's a stock that can move pretty heavily. It can move, 100 points in a day. Back when it was, 800, 900 points or whatever. But it's also a stock that people are going to snatch up if it gets down to 400 or 500, in my opinion. Unlike other things, yes, it does take $45,000 up if you got a sign or something like that. But I got I got $100 on my contract. To me, that's good. Like, there's a 3% probability in the money. A 450 strike, I got $111 for it. That's my wheelhouse right there. I don't care if it's $45,000. I look at the $100 I made from it, and the 3% probability of the money. And then Gerry is even safer than that.
Yeah, it's for the most part, if you treat Tesla with you keep it on a short leash as far as DTE is concerned, and you go out far, it's almost free money. But if you're gonna play it selling like the 600 strike 30 days out, yeah, that's kind of iffy. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, anything like 10 or 20% probably the money or something like that. That's like, that's Thumper territory. And, Thumper runs his own. I don't know if Thumper's here yet, but maybe he won't show up. Maybe he's, finding Easter eggs or something. I do have an Amazon too, by the way. That's a 1.95% probably in the money right there. $2,770 strike. And I got $100 for it. Now, some people like Thumper would say that's a lot of money you're putting up for the amount of money you're getting. I don't look at it like that, right? Like, it's just not the way I look at it. I look at the $100 I'm going to make, and it's pretty much guaranteed, right? Maybe that's not the right way to think. That's maybe the reason why Thumper makes 13 grand and I make 6 or whatever. Yeah,
possibly.
I'm up 15 grand for the year still. $500 for April. It's only been one day. We'll see. Like, I can always switch things up. All that matters is you're positive at the end of the year, preferably, more than what the market's return, which we should be doing because, like I said last week, the market's going up. We're all printing, right? That's going in our direction that we want to go anyway. We're going to be able to profit quicker, put more crap on, take more shit off, put more shit on, Gerry likes to say.
Yeah. We just can't have a perpetual up market. That's it. We need those down days, every few days to put crap on.
It does, honestly, when you do have a big up day, it's more of a mental game, not putting stuff on like, oh, I'm going to put it on. It's just going to go down the next day. And then you're immediately in the red. Not going to be tested, most likely. Probably won't be, but you're going to be wishing that you waited a day. But I don't know. I think there's a mix there. The other strategies to go back to doing naked calls or strangles, which we haven't done yet, but we're gone back to.
I came like that close to putting one on Tesla.
Strangle.
Yeah. I
probably a good one to do it on, actually.
I had it in the order queue and everything, and I pulled it out. I was like, no.
I actually forgot to look at the markets. Futures up 200 points, by the way. Nasdaq's down. Not down. It's flat pretty much. The ES is up about 0.5%, and the YM's up about 0.6%. So that's interesting. We could be back to the whole back to a week where the NQ's down, the QQQs are down because of interest rates or the treasuries or whatever the hell they are.
That Russell is going crazy.
It just comes back, right?
That Russell is going nuts.
Yeah. Well, is it? Let's see. What's the Russell? I don't know what the actual futures are for the Russell. So
it's RUT, I think it is.
For the futures?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It should be a 2-digit. If anybody knows the Russell futures, the 2-digit number for that, 2-digit letter for that. Retire, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been busy. You're usually right about Intel. I have been. Yeah, I killed it on Intel. I wasn't in it. That's the reason why it went up, by the way. I think Intel sells off going into earnings. I need to lighten up on Intel. Seller hold going into. That's an interesting one. You could sell some calls against your position. That'd be a good way to go, right? If you have a good gain in it, why not like set it up like 5% above or something like that? If it goes up there, so be it. If it doesn't, guess what? You just printed. I don't know. It's up to you. This is one of those questions where I can't really answer it for you, but I don't know. I mean, Pat could come out with some blockbuster news or something like that. I wouldn't hold it. What's the question? What I try to say here, Gerry? I wouldn't put it past him. He's going to turn that ship around, and I think the Intel is going to be. Everybody's positive on AMD. Now look at AMD over the last couple of months or whatever. Look at it on the year, right? Intel's eating its lunch. So
yeah, I was real surprised that Intel he was in that position not very long, and all of a sudden announced he's building 2 freaking manufacturing facilities or whatever, foundries.
Well, I already have one there. So manufacturing for other people, a lot of other tech companies or whatever. He like I said, if anybody can fix Intel, it's going to be him. If he can't fix it, I think it's doomed. Intel would be doomed. There would be nobody else that I would trust myself, just because I know him. Don't know him personally, although I've worked for 2 companies he's worked for, one at the same time. He's worked for Intel for many years, so he just give him a little bit of time. He's going to right that ship. It's just about changing the perception. It's like T needs to change the perception, right?
Just like what's his name did for GE.
Yeah,
actually pulled out and he made a profit this past quarter or whatever.
Yeah, we missed that boat, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did.
Market Scraper, I sold Tesla CCs for next week. 1K strikes. So what do you own? Are they naked? Got to be naked, baby. Do you hold 100 shares of that, or are you actually naked on those? That's a tough one. 1,000.
1,000 strike. Yeah, that's like easy.
I mean, it's way overvalued where it sits now, but you can't. The thing with Tesla is you just can't. You can't underestimate that stock and the power of Elon Musk tweet or something like that. Like he could prop that thing up 500 points in a week, So it is what it is. Dan, happy Easter to you and your family. Francisco, I have a newbie question. What's the difference between buying into a fund like Nusi and doing your own options?
Lots of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of other things about it. You're not going to probably make as much.
I know.
But you also don't have to deal with all the BS, right? Of putting all this crap on, taking it off, managing it, finding premium, working, tirelessly. Yeah, Nusi's a little bit different, but I mean, because they're running a caller, but like QYLD, they're doing their own strategy, XYLD, or is it XYLD?
Yeah.
They're all doing something. Jeppy's doing something different, right? ELNs and if you want to manage it yourself, you could probably make more, but you're going to have to manage it, right? You're going to have to find the premium, you have to put it on, you have to, and this is talking about in some of these ETFs and stuff, they might actually own positions and sell covered calls against it. Some own the index, they don't actually own the positions, or some own the positions and they trade the options against the index. And so what are you going to do, right? Are you going to buy a bunch of positions and do what they're doing and sell a bunch of covered calls against it? I tried that in my dividend portfolio. It was too much damn work, right? Especially if I'm trading another account. So
yeah,
it's set and forget, man. It's a monthly pair. I mean,
normally the average investor can't replicate what these ETFs are doing, right? Not in a very easy way anyway, especially, you're not going to buy all 100 stocks of the NASDAQ 100. You're just not going to do that, right? So it's about the ease, about your knowledge. It's about whether you can go out there and sell naked puts and naked calls, which I really don't totally recommend, to generate that income. You're taking a bigger risk on your shoulders doing it yourself. Because there's definitely things that can go against you managing it yourself. That being said, me and Dave should easily get 2% a month, where the most you will get from a QILD is 1%, or NUSI would be not even that, 0.75% maybe. So
I think the key point, what you just basically said here, the biggest key point, I should say, is it's hard to duplicate what they're doing without a lot of money, right? Because imagine buying like a bunch of quality S&P 500 stocks. Like you had to $100,000 to buy like 100 shares of Microsoft or Apple or something like that, right? I have 100 shares of each of those. That's not $100,000, but you have to have a lot of money to have 100 shares of a lot of quality stocks, right? Like a Home Depot is a good example, right? $200 a share. So it takes a lot of money, and that's 20 grand. So I guess I'm off of my numbers, but to replicate it, it's going to take a lot of money. I mean, I was starting to build up my dividend positions. Every time I get 100 shares or something, I start selling covered calls against it. And some of the things were it was just too hard. It wasn't, paying nothing because it's PG, or it's one of those very low beta stocks, doesn't pay anything. You got to go out 60 days. I don't think you're going to want to deal with that. So I think that answers the question right there. You can do what Gerry and I are doing. You're going to make more than what NUSI's doing, but you're not doing what NUSI's doing or QILD's doing.
Right.
I don't know what they're talking about. Hey, Ryan. Hope your family's doing well. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah. Let's see. What's this one? By the way, I started buying 100 shares of a stock on things like NIO. And then doing, let's see, doing extra. I'm just kidding. NIO, honestly, I should probably look at it. I shouldn't discount it. I just don't like the fact that it's controlled by whatever comes out of China, whatever they want to say. They can manipulate their stock market and their currency anytime they want. And they've done it many times. So that's the only thing scary about NIO. And then doing a Strangle on it closer to the in the money, the current market conditions, so I get more premium. So what, are you going to have a very aggressive put and a very aggressive call?
And own the shares? Is that what you're saying?
Buying 100 shares. Yeah, I don't know. So you want to buy another 100 shares? Well, what's the deal here? Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Not calling you stupid. I don't know. It's got to get creative to make money these days, I guess, Gerry. I don't know what this is. Dan's always coming up with some weird crap. Does anybody know what that is? Sounds like something
foreign.
Ryan would say. Doesn't sound appetizing. Yeah. You talk about the pooped coffee?
The poop coffee?
Oh, eats the bean. Yeah. Shivet. So is that what the name of the pooped coffee is?
Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
That was a good movie, by the way. Let's see. Shivet eats the bean first. Rumple. Dave, since you're in tech, do you have any FPGA knowledge? I don't know what FPGA is, man. How come you never played in... Okay, so XLNX. Is that the memory company?
That's Xilinx.
They make memory, right?
I don't know. I'm not going to...
Make memory.
I'm not going to guess.
Make memory. They might even do SSDs now or something, or NVMe RAM or something. But the past couple of years before and after, yeah. So I think that's, yeah. I think they're they make flash or something. I think. I don't know what FPGA is though. I might know what it is. What's that?
Jim Cramer was big in Xilinx.
Yeah.
Named his dog after it.
Have you ever played? No, so I've never played that. So to answer your question, the past couple of years before and after, no, I've never. No, I'm pretty sure that's the memory company, and I think they make things beyond that too. Obviously, when you get in the flash memory space, there's a lot of shit you can do, storage class memory and all that crap. But no, I've never played them. I've barely played AMD at this point. Is that Matt Money sending us over a super chat or a
Yeah, it
super sticker
was
or whatever? Jesus, Matt.
5 bones.
Thanks a lot for the Matt. Now we'll break even on our storage. What is it? On our StreamYard software. Thanks for that, buddy. Go check out Matt's channel. Good friends. We do have a gentleman's bet, by the way. I think it's pretty well known. Who's gonna hit 1 million or 2 million faster, him or I? That's the bet, right? So he's at 850, a little over 850. I'm at 1.7. So am I going to hit 2 million before he hits his 1 mil? And
That's essentially even, right?
It's essentially even, although all my cash is not available to me. That's the problem. But it is what it is. I made the bet. He didn't come with me he didn't come to me with the bet. So most likely he's going to win the bet because I'm going to fire before I hit the 2 mil unless the market's super aggressive, which I hope it is, but because that'll help him out too, but it'll help me out. The main reason why I want to do this for anybody that's watching this is it's just to push ourselves a little bit, right? Push him, push myself. That's really what it's about. I don't care about the $100 bet. I'll give him $500. I don't give a shit. But anyways, that's what it is. So have you tried trading calendar spreads, buy long dated put and sell shorter term puts? So that's like the opposite of PMCC.
Yeah, we've done PMCCs, which is buying the long dated call and selling the short term put. Selling the short term call.
Poor man's
not on the other side.
I don't know what's the bottom side called?
Yeah, I don't know.
And why do they call them counter spreads? Because they're just different expiries. Because do they call them PMCC counters as well?
Yeah, I think they call them diagonal calendar spreads.
Interesting. No, I've never tried that. To answer the question, I don't think Gerry has either. So buying a long dated put, so that's just to cover the other put in case it goes below it. Is that what it is? So you're buying a put, yeah. So okay, that means you could call that put and put those shares, right? No, not put those shares. You're buying the put, so if it goes, it's opposite. Goes down, it goes in value, goes up in value. It's like the opposite of a PMCC. It's screwing my head.
Yeah.
I have to think about that one.
So,
what's the advantages, Max?
Yeah, what's the advantage? Because you sell the shorter term put. If that gets assigned, what does that do to you? I don't understand. I don't know if the long dated
say whether or not the long is it the same strike or the strike's different? Because that's kind of questionable, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of details there.
Yeah, give us some more information here. Let's see here. Young Kim calls for a few weeks, puts for long. VIX way too. Oh yeah, VIX is way too low. We need the VIX to go up. Yeah, I don't know what else you're trying to say there, but yeah, VIX. We need the VIX to go up. Let's see. Could you make more money on Tesla just going long and selling CCs? I don't want to own that shit. Do you, Gerry?
I don't want to own it, but I know Ryan Giffen wants to own it. So, you definitely can make some money selling covered calls on it for sure.
The issue is what if you had it what if you had 800? You bought 100 shares trying to CC it. Yeah, I might make money the very first time. Then it drops down to what is it now, right? Like how much are those CCs worth then? You have to buy another 100 shares, average down, right? Ask Randy about this. Randy's been playing Tesla with Common. He's gotten his ass handed to him, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
So,
but yeah, someone like Ryan Giffen probably doesn't mind buying another 100 and then another 100 and another 100. So,
Let me just say this. If Tesla was down at 400, it'd be a different story. I might own 100 shares down at 400. But 800? Something like that? 600? No way. I think at 400, it's still way overvalued. So I'd be more open to it at 400. But yeah, I don't want to own 100 shares. Yeah, you can make some pretty good money on the CCs right when you get into it. But if it drops 200 or 300 points, you might have a hard time getting some money out of those CCs. Curious, Dan, let's see. Curious to what you find on how, yeah, I don't know. I haven't, the problem is Jeppy is somewhat new. Hasn't even been out a year yet. I think it's coming up close though, right? Is it May?
May, yeah.
June? So it's getting close.
Yeah.
And I really would have to talk to somebody that's owned it since last year to see what happened to their 1099. Did they get a corrected 1099 from their broker? Did it get reported to the broker right away? Because I think it's usually by the end of January, but some brokers have to go until like in March before they actually give you the 1099 or all the tax documents. But I have to talk to somebody that actually had Jeppy last year and see, because I got it just this year, so I actually didn't have Jeppy yet. But I'm worried about the fiscal year. I'm worried about the calendar year if they run it funky. Those ELNs are a whole nother ballgame. You don't know how they're taxed. How are they passing this off? I don't really necessarily care if it's not like a qualified dividend or anything like that, but I don't want to be dealing with corrected 1099s that come after you file your taxes, that you got to file an amended tax return. I don't want to deal with any of that. That's what I don't want to deal with. I don't care if they have to pay taxes along the way, but I don't want to deal with 1099Xs, or excuse me, 1040Xs. Did you have Jeppy last year?
I want to say I did. I have a stack of I have that stack of papers right there. I still have to go through. So
let me know if you did, and I'll ask Matt too, because I don't think Matt actually had it, but Jeppy, this might be valid for Jeppy too. Excuse me, valid for Nusi too. I don't know, but it's something that definitely to be concerned about for me. I don't want to. Nobody wants to deal with an amended tax return.
Oh hell no!
Especially when you got complicated taxes. Let's see here. Ryan Giffen. So anybody's had Jeppy last year, let me know. I'm just holding my intel. Dave got me in, but then abandoned the trade. Hey, I made money on it. Made like $4 or $5 grand or something on it. Yeah, I know. But you know what? I have to, support all the peeps out there that own it. All right? Like invest to retire or excuse me, retire. And Ryan here, you guys wouldn't be up unless I got out. So thank you. Let's see here. Nate. Tesla, Xpeng. Yeah, let's see. Neo, Lucid, Auto. There's so much hype for these stocks, yet no one ever speaks about BYD, which has been around longer than Tesla is huge. I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard of BYD. What's the actual? Is that the name of the company? Is that the ticker?
That's the ticker.
Is that the ticker?
BYD. I'm just not big into the hype stocks, so
why is that BYD? Why does it say Gaming Corporation? Boyd Gaming.
Oh wait,
it's a casino.
Yeah, that's the wrong ticker.
That may be the name of the company then. Is that Nate? Is that the ticker or is that the name of the company?
Oh, it's over the counter.
Oh, is it OTC?
Yeah. It's BYDDF.
What's the name of it? Can you pronounce it?
It's BYD company.
Okay. Yeah, I don't trust a lot of the companies over there. The shell companies, just like Luckin Coffee and all that. It's a shell company. None of those people care about the actual company that are invested in it.
I think Mr. Buffett owns BYD too. Owns some of BYD, so I think that's where some of the support
electric
goes.
Buses have been around a long time, but I think a lot of the electric buses, if I'm not mistaken, have freaking lines above them. You know what I mean? Like in Seattle, there's lines above the buses. They're not running on battery, so that's a whole nother ball game when you got to get batteries involved. Where are you going to put them? You know, it's a lot of freaking weight. And to run a bus all day or whatever, like even for 2 or 3 hours, like that's a lot of freaking battery storage. Where are you going to put all that crap, right? So they need to fix that. You know, and Tesla, I don't care what Elon Musk says, million-mile battery, whatever, buying them freaking Panasonic batteries. You're like, they're not making their own shit. They're buying Panasonic batteries, whatever. Battery technology is not there. It's not even close. We got a long way to go to get there. They got to get lighter. They got to get cheaper. And they got to get more mileage out of them. And we also have to worry about how you dispose of those damn things. I had a little battery, little, you know, I don't know what it was, like just a little teeny battery, rechargeable one. It's like a CR123 or something like that, I think is what it was. Blew up in my pocket. Just about blew a hole in my freaking, in my leg. Sounded like a freaking gunshot went off. Fire, flames coming out of my freaking pants pocket. Burned a hole all the way down to my butt nutsack. Jesus.
They also need to be self-charging.
You got regenerative braking and stuff for that. You know, I mean, why don't we just build in solar panel right into the paint? The paint's the solar panel, right? I mean, there's so many things that just need technology to move. And right now, we've had discussion on Friday with Matt and Kyle, you know, an independent investor. And we could probably go on all night talk about that. Yeah. But technology, this is just a minor shift in technology. I'm not talking about a paradigm shift here, okay? It's not replacing a horse and a buggy with a car. We've already got cars, okay? We're not making cars fly here, right? All we're doing is just changing the way still got wheels, it still got tires, it still has a drivetrain, all that crap. Still
I wouldn't want to plug my car in. I actually asked my 16-year-old, I asked him about electric cars, and I asked him about Tesla. And I asked him, would he want to own a Tesla? And he goes, absolutely not. And I'm like, why? He goes, I don't want another thing that I have to plug in every night.
That's good. That's good.
So if they did, you know, if they self-charged, I think that I wouldn't mind having one. But I'm not going to sit there and maintain a freaking.
But yet you want to go to a gas station and fill up. I mean, I understand that. I think there's a convenience factor there. It's coming home, plugging it in. Doesn't take much work, right? But you know, it's like a laptop battery though. It loses capacity every charge, right? Like, okay, I can go 250 miles when it's brand new, and then one charge and drops down to 249 or 247, and before you know it, after you've charged that some bitch up, you know, 50 freaking cycles or whatever, you're down to like 215 miles you can go. Then you start getting range anxiety, and that's something I have because I want to be able to drive up in the mountains or whatever, and it's like range anxiety is a real thing. You know?
Okay, we probably should drop this one.
Yeah. Is people saying something? I haven't got to the bottom.
They probably will. It's probably going to go off here in a minute.
Ryan Giffen did a video on it. He had to get his Tesla freaking towed to a charging station. Right? It was a hell of a thumbnail too. ER. Okay, I'll actually add that one. To my futures list. Thanks for that, Investor Retire. I don't know what his real name is. Have you ever learned what his real name is?
No.
Never shared it, I guess. A lot of Tesla. Yeah, he actually does pretty good. So is Investing Sensei. They both do pretty good with their options. They do different strategies though. They're doing a little bit more aggressive, you know, stuff that I really wouldn't want to touch, but it seems to be working for them. Ryan, market has lots of Tesla shares. Market, what's that mean?
Oh, Market Scraper has lots of Tesla shares.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Hot Matt there. Hot Dave and GW. Matt Money. Sorry, boy, Matt. Thanks a lot for that super sticker there, Matt. Let's see. Yeah, beat me to it. Hey, there's Stuck Ninja.
Ninja Man.
He was up pretty good in March, right? I don't remember what it was. It 13 grand? What was
something like that. It was way more than me.
Yeah. And he's been playing it pretty safe too after getting his
Roku'd?
Yeah, after getting Roku'd, yeah. Hot Ninja. All good. All right, trying to see if there's a question down at the bottom here. Here we go. What's a good estimate on the time you guys have? Okay, so that's a good question. For like one individual position, it's probably like a minute or two. But I do that for every stock too. So every position I get into, I look at a chart. It only takes seconds to look at a chart. Okay, 200 average is here. This like has a lot of support here. This is where I want to be. Pull up the options chain or run my script. Find out the probability is. How much money is it paying? Find out what the DT is. Is there earnings there? And then put it on. All that might take a couple of minutes, maybe, probably most. So I would say, but I'm watching the thing all day, putting stuff on all day, taking shit off, putting shit on all day, every day. So I wouldn't call it a full-time job because I'm sleeping in between sometimes, but yeah. What about you, Gerry? How much time do you spend doing this?
I'm about the same. It depends though. If I'm putting an option on a unfamiliar stock, I will spend a little bit more time. I'll look at their earnings and revenue, and I'll look when the earnings date is. I'll actually look at the top news headlines. But other than that, I mean, yeah, that's still only going to take a couple of minutes.
So yeah, that pretty much just answers it. We love you too, Matt. Thanks for serenading us last night. Waiting for a girl like you. Let's see here. Oh, jeez, Gerry, I passed a bunch. Oh man, holy cow! Field programmable gate array. Interesting. So, are we talking about a chip? Because I know chips can be gates as well. So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. It's probably a chip that's programmable. Pretty sure that's what it is. But I think, like I said, I think that company makes memory too. But hey, thanks for sharing that out. Well, hey, happy Easter there, Christopher. Greetings to you. Matt Money, Randy's free. Yeah, thanks for sharing that out. Is that a link that expires every 7 days, Matt, or is that a permanent link? I've been trying to put the permanent one out because people say that they've been expiring, but by default it's a 7-day invite. So
yeah, you have to go in there and change it.
Yeah, exactly. Dave Safe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to become Dave Safe. Might have to be like Dave Semi-Safe or something. I don't know because the Dave Safe is being it's tough lately. Super Kid is Thumper. He's definitely a prodigy child or whatever. Is that the right saying? He didn't learn it from me. I don't know where he learned it from. I think he got a little bit of information from me early on, but I think a lot of Randy had to do a lot of what Randy was doing as well. But he's a smart dude. Hands
Absolutely.
down, he's a super smart dude. He's really diligent and very dry humored, if he has a sense of humor. He's a cyborg. Let's see here. The reason I bought 100 shares of NIO is because NIO can pop quickly to avoid a naked call. So avoiding a naked call while ensuring premium collection. Worst case is I get 100 more shares. I honestly, when I look at that stock, let me pull up actually, but I'll tell you what I'm thinking. When I look at that stock, I think it can go to 20 easily. That's what I see on it.
I see sub 10.
I see 20, and then it just goes down from there.
Yeah, I mean, I actually owned Neo way back in the day when it was $3. So it's kind of hard.
Because it got investigated by something, China or whatever. They did something and it tanked it big time. People probably lost their ass so I don't know. To me, it's just a risky play. If I was going to get into it right now, I'd probably bet a 20 strike, but I don't know what they're worth down there. And I mean, that's probably like 2 weeks out or something.
Yeah, I have done some Neos, but that's where I've been at that 20 strike.
Yeah, I don't know where Thumper is. He's probably finding Easter eggs or something. He'll probably join maybe, hopefully later. I've done the counter spread with SPY when I was hedging. Yeah, okay. So a hedge is the reason you use it. That makes sense because you're always pushing the collar side, the other side down, or rolling the bottom side. Yeah, Stock Ninja expert here. Game Sonar. If the short-term put gets assigned, you close the spread. Yeah, but which one are we talking about? We're talking about spreads. Or are we talking about counter, diagonals, or something?
Yeah, that's probably what he's referring to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a counter spread. That makes sense. But in PMCC, you don't necessarily do that. PMCC.
Yeah, Ninja basically said it further down here. You're essentially trying to offset some of the long put option cost. And then a couple more down, same as PMCC, just opposite. You close it when the short breaches. So yeah, it's just that's one of the problems with getting into options, especially for new people. Everything's backwards.
Yes. Well, if you're selling premium.
If you're selling premium, it makes no sense. You know, because you sell something
opposite if you're not selling premium.
Right. If you're selling premium, you know, you buy it back to make profit. That makes no sense, right?
It does become more complicated if you're trying to buy, you're doing well, I wouldn't call it a debit spread. You're doing a spread, but you're still trying to be, bullish on the stock and it go up or something, because you still have to sell one, but you got to buy one. It gets complicated. I prefer to just keep things simple, right? I just sell a naked put. I wouldn't even call it a Cassagear put. I just say CSP just because people know what I'm talking about, but it's because spreads are just more complicated. Although, I get why we've talked about this almost every single week, right? We know why people use them. They most of the time use them because they have a small account. But I mean, there's other reasons why they use it too. They want to be able to lock that loss in, right? But
yeah,
it can protect you from a crash in that stock. But at the same time, I'm safer being way out there making more money. But we've talked about it many times. But hey, C North, greetings. Let's see here. But yeah, same as PMCC, opposite. Yeah, that definitely would screw with your brain. PMCCs aren't very difficult to figure out, but I'd have to just train my brain to understand what we're trying to do on the opposite side of that. It's called a PMP. It smacks up the market. Actually, isn't that what I thought that was like a, what I'm talking, what a PMP is, right? It's like a project manager certification. What is he talking about?
He's talking about a pimp that slaps his market.
There's no I in there, though.
It's just Dan being Dan.
Dan being Dan. Go check out Jan's channel. It might be, it could be a week. It could be another 2 months before he puts another video out. But he's got some good videos.
He does. No doubt.
Tesla, every other car company ever. Every other car company ever. Like I said, we could probably talk for hours about Tesla. There's probably going to be people in here that are unsub. There's probably people that will sub to both of us because of that. But it's just know that there's not going to just be Tesla in the world. There's not going to be just Tesla in this country. It's going to be a Ford. There's going to be a Nissan. There's going to be a Toyota. There's going to be a GM. They're all going to stay around. All right. I'm so FFR. I'm still hustling for cash flow. I don't know what FFR is.
It's a Matt thing, I believe.
I think I saw you in comments. Let's see, what platform? We're all using IB or Interactive Brokers for the trading that we're doing. I do some cover calls sometimes in the Schwab account against the dividend stocks, and then I also have a TD Ameritrade account. Sometimes I'll buy leaps in that account, but in general, most of us in here, Cloud Ninja, I don't think all. So Randy, Thumper, Gerry, myself, we're all using Interactive Brokers, mainly because it's 4-to-1 margin. Commissions are pretty reasonable. Sometimes they pay you to trade. I think IB is the way to go. It's just me. I've been using it for so long anyway, but yeah. I mean, you've used Fidelity, right? Too.
Yeah, I've used Fidelity. It's just okay. It's actually fairly decent on the commissions. But right now I just use it for covered calls in my Roth account. I also have a Chase account that not hear nobody ever talk about. That I have a Roth in as well that I sell covered calls
Is that Merrill Edge?
and puts.
Is that Merrill Edge, or is it just their own?
No, it's their own.
Like Share Builder or something like that?
It's Chase U Invest or something like that.
Oh wow.
Nobody talks about it.
The thing is what we're doing here, I feel like you need a platform where you can look at what's going on real time. You know, you're not putting a cover call just that's sitting out for 30 days. You can pretty much get away with probably not doing any of that stuff that we're doing because I've done it. You can just look at a chart. Oh, okay, let me get here. Let me see what the premium is. But we're looking at charts. We're looking at the options change real time, you know, making a decision, making sure we're not going through earnings. And, you know, it's a lot to look at. And you can do it from a phone, I think, but I think you're just hurting yourself. You're going to be able to, how many screens can you have up on a phone where you can look at, you know, you can look at a chart, you can look at the options chain, you can look at the earnings, you can look at, you know, the stock, you know, on a 5-minute or a 1-minute chart or whatever. I mean, that's a lot of work to do on a phone. Of course, I'm old school too. I don't know. Know how to do it on your phone though. Know how to close one, just in case you're in a pinch.
Yeah, I do need to learn that.
You don't want to be stuck somewhere with your pants down and the tide's going out. If bullish on a stock, buy a counter, call spread. If bearish, then buy a counter, put spread. Yeah, I'm not buying anything. Sorry. The only thing I'm buying is leaps. That's it. I don't buy premium.
I'll buy my putbacks.
And that's a new thing that I added just recently because I feel like it's, you know, going out 2 years on like snow or something like that. I've made pretty good money on leaps, buying leaps. But other than that, I feel like you're buying premium. You're just, all the odds are not in your favor. You're like literally going to a casino and your odds are at the casino are just as bad as they are with options buying premium versus putting those odds in your favor. There's 3 different things you got to put in your favor by buying it. I hope that's not what he's talking about because I don't know. He's never talked about buying it before.
I'm not sure. Investor Retire, he does a bunch of everything. I think he's just trying everything out to see what sticks.
What sticks? And just because it sticks one time doesn't mean it's going to stick for a long time.
Well, I mean, you got to figure out what you're comfortable doing too. So, you know, if he's successful at something and he understands it 100%, and you know, more power to him.
Tatiana, isn't that the New Day girl? Tatiana. Has anybody ever seen the New Day commercial that comes on like Fox and whatever other channels like New Day USA? Tatiana. Nobody's seen that commercial, huh? She drives me nuts.
I don't watch TV, Dave.
She shakes her head like too much when she's talking. Like it's fake. That's how much she says. Join New Day USA. Like that's how much she's shaking it. Join New Day USA today. And like, what the hell? Like nobody does that for real. Anyways, every time I watch it, it's like, you know, I'm like, who shakes their head that much? Anyways, appreciate the input, guys. Gotta early start tomorrow. Yeah. Gotta go out there and make that money, man. That seed money. Ryan Giffen is going places. He's a good all-around investor by far. One of the best I've seen. Matt's another one. It's an all-around investor. He's got real estate. He's got crypto. He's got Fundrise. He's got, you know, Grant Cardone. He's got stocks. He's got dividends. So he does options. That's the way to be, you know, in my opinion. You don't have to. I mean, it's just diversification. Yeah. Anyways. Hey, happy Easter there, Ryan. Tesla will go to the moon. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'll go to the moon in 10 years. I don't know. I don't know how much it can be more overvalued than it already is. You know, got propped up by a zillion different things, split and SP 500 and all that junk.
It's probably $100 stock if we're trying to base it on
We're being
earnings.
honest here, yeah. we're not basically trying to value it as a Ford or anything like that, because I think Ford's like a 6x or something like that, 7x. But Tesla, on the other hand, is an one. I mean, shoot, the PE on it's 1,000, but Ford PE is 118. So yeah, that's not overvalued. It's a cult following. What are you going to say? People buy it though. Whatever. I'm already laying down. My alarm is set for 4 a.m. Jeez. Yeah, Matt had QLD. Yeah, I don't think Matt had Jeppy. I don't think Matt had.
I don't think so.
I don't think Matt owns Jeppy, period.
No, I don't believe so.
BYDDF. BYDDY. What are those?
That's the BYD stock he's talking about. They're just on different exchanges.
It's a penny stock. I'm not touching it. I barely touch a micro cap, let alone a small cap. Jeez.
A $22 stock.
Okay.
But it's gone, it's gone 4x in the past year.
It's like Riot, what's been up, 1,000% or whatever. Dread Z. Nuclear power cars of the future. Hell yeah, man. I'd buy freaking, stock and flux capacitors all damn day.
That's what I want my RV. I want my RV to have a freaking nuclear reactor right in the middle of the damn thing.
That's a flux capacitor, essentially. Although technically a capacitor is just a storage, receptacle. But if it's if you had like a nuclear reactor on the car with a capacitor, to keep it stored or whatever, and to smooth out the ride, yeah. You know what's kind of interesting? We skipped natural gas too. Yeah, buses had it. I mean, I wouldn't say, forklifts had it. That was like just more propane, but
propane.
You skip that, right?
Propane's a form of natural though.
It runs cleaner, and it's like, I think it's endless supply too, if I'm not mistaken. And we just skip that whole thing. And you think about energy, you think about electricity. Electricity is not clean. Like, it comes from, you have to produce electricity, right? Now, is a nuclear plant clean? Probably, but I think they're all anti-nuclear. Wind and solar, it's clean, but what happens? We saw what happens when a little teeny snowstorm comes in for a couple of days, shuts the whole damn grid down. What's the solution there? The solution is more efficiency, but I just don't think our grid can't support all cars being electric. It can't. Right now, it can't, in my opinion. What are you going to do about like tankers and stuff? They're all still going to be diesel. I think a lot of the big ships are all diesel electric, if I'm not mistaken. Just like all the trains are all diesel electric. They're not going to be electric. Okay, just like the boats aren't going to be electric. What are you going to do with the airplanes, right? Yeah, enough batteries in there, won't be able to get off the ground. So all that stuff is going to remain, petrol, jet fuel, diesel, whatever. It's all about the passenger cars, which doesn't even produce that much freaking pollution, theoretically, in all grand scheme of things. Build your dreams. They make their own batteries. Okay. Was that what it stands for? Build your dreams? Interesting.
Yeah.
Make their own battery. COB is master chemist and created the Blade battery. Like I said, if they could get the battery technology way ahead of where it's at, like where it should be, this would be a game changer, in my opinion. Like, you can get 500 miles out of a charge. It takes 15 minutes to charge it. They don't weigh that much. It's not toxic, because I think a lot of the stuff that goes in there right now all comes from China. So we're going to have to buy all that shit from China. We're going to be dependent on China again.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think the battery definitely needs to do something, because from what I know, the batteries are essentially this technology has been around forever. They're just making it more the power capacity longer, right? So nothing's really changed in the battery technology or the makeup of the battery. So I think that's a good point. If I have to look into BYD, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Do they have options on BYD?
Do some research on that one, Jeremy. We'll see. Battery technology is still lacking. It's made progress, but it's dangerous. You know, Li-ion or whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what they use in cars, but those damn batteries, those things are dangerous. I mean, trying to think of anything else. They weigh a lot too. You're talking about like a Tesla sedan weighing like 5,000 pounds, as much as like an F-150 would weigh. You know, that's a lot for a sedan. You know, look at show up like Tesla. You know, I popped up like a Tesla YouTube video one time. It was like a mechanic's like, yeah, got another Tesla in. It's like showing the video on the tires, and the inside of the tire is all worn out down to the bead. He's like, yeah, every Tesla does this. They weigh too much. You know, you got to replace the freaking tires so fast because it's 5,000 pounds. It's a freaking tank. It's like driving around a Hummer. Electric Hummer. And that brings up a whole other point. The Tahoes and the Hummers, how do they get miles out of those damn things, right? I don't understand how they can get the mileage out of those.
What technology is GM using to be able to get a few hundred miles? I think it's set up to 500 miles, if I remember correctly, out of the new Hummer that's coming out.
My assumption is it's just because it's a bigger vehicle, they can put more batteries in the damn thing.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. Because I think Tesla's like the whole damn car is the battery, or at least it used to be. Like the chassis is built in and shit. The battery's made in the chassis. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Am I completely off base here? We're not even talking about level 5 driving. We haven't even touched on that.
Let's not go there.
Dave is so hot, he causes batteries to pop. Oh, jeez. That was a scary thing, man. It scared the shit out of me. It scared me. I thought I got shot by a gun. That's how loud it was. And I immediately sprained my ankle. So I landed, I jumped and it sprained my ankle and fell down and everything. No freaking underwear on, and just shorts. It burned a hole right through them. And I thought I was going to have to take them off. Luckily it was nighttime and I was about 1.5 miles from the house, but man, that was scary. That has an eBay battery too. So, you know, those, what's the one you're talking about? Those 7-1, whatever the hell, they're a little bit bigger ones.
The 18650s.
Yes. I got some of those from eBay too.
I was talking to somebody, I don't know if it's wrong or right, but they were saying the batteries in cars are those 1860 batteries, but they're just ran in series. That's a lot of freaking, because one of those things can freaking blow you up.
Yeah, that's a lot of, because the one I did was like maybe the third of the size of the one you're talking about, right? It's the CR123, right? It's round and it's about that big. And it went into this little, it destroyed my flashlight, by the way. I couldn't use the flashlight anymore. But that's the reason why a lot of batteries have intelligent charging and stuff, mechanisms on them, you know. But those small ones like that, you don't normally have an intelligent charger. You just charge them up. And I don't know what the hell. Anyways, scary. Batteries make a lot of, yes, exactly. Even the lead batteries we've had for the last 40 or 50 years or whatever, you know. I mean, luckily we recycle those things. But yeah, I bet you the newer batteries are even more toxic. Don't get a lead acid battery, that little white stuff down there. Don't put it on your clothes. You wash your clothes, you have a hole in your clothes. Don't get in your face either. Very dangerous. Holy cow. Field program will gate, specialize in them. You can hard code software and okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. It's different. It's not up my even though we do flash storage in my job, like we've almost everybody's gotten rid of spinning disks now, but it's all flash. But flash is cheap enough now, but I've never done anything like that. Yes, they do. So what Davey is saying is bullish. He's bullish on Tesla. Like, I would say I'm bullish on Tesla. I just think it's overvalued. I think I'm bullish on Tesla. I think 10 years from now, it's going to be higher than where it is now, I think. But I just don't agree with the Zennials thinking that Tesla's going to be the only thing out there and there's not going to be any competition. That's where I have the issue.
Yeah, they think they're going to dominate the energy world, and it's just not the case. The government's not going to allow Tesla to dominate, the energy grid and the oil. They're not going to allow them to eliminate oil.
We should almost say that too, because there's a point there that you just made. The reason why electric cars even got pushed to begin with is because of the government. They could have pushed natural gas. We'd all be able to fill up a home just like we do now, right? With the electric cars. You can just go to a freaking gas station, natural gas, it runs cleaner, it's abundant, whatever, it's cheap. But they didn't push that. They gave subsidies away for electric vehicles and solar panels and all that stuff. And there's still subsidies out there, and they're pretty big. So they pushed that. Where would Tesla be if they didn't push that, right? So you think that Ford's going to go away? You think that GM's going to go away? Kyle can argue this all day long if he wants. If we're talking about level 5, that's a whole different ballgame there. We're not going to really get in that. I don't want to see it personally. I just don't see – it does save lives probably. But like I said, I think last night, I think I even said it on Friday night on the stream, I'd be okay with self-driving if the cars went like 300 miles an hour. If they're self-driving, everybody's self-driving, right? And it's all drive by a computer and crap, then we should be able to go 300 miles an hour. That'd be worth it. I don't want to sit in a car driving on a road trip, just sit in the back, not doing anything. That's boring. That's no fun. I don't want to do that. I do enough on that on a plane, man. Come on, man.
Well, it would also have to be fun, right? That's kind of what you're saying. I mean, we'd have to be able to have a program the car to take us up to the canyon and run through the freaking canyon and have fun with it, right? Not just
Oh my God, Gerry. I'm not looking forward to the day. I'm always going to have a gasoline car, probably a sports car at some point. Look, in our lifetime, anybody's lifetime in this chat, I don't care how, you could be 10 years old, I don't care. In your lifetime, gasoline cars will never go away. They're always going to be around. Gasoline could be $100 a gallon by then, I don't know. But they'll never fully go away. I don't care, because they're going to grandfather them in. That's what's going to happen. It might be hard to find parts. It might be hard to find somebody to work on it. What the hell is a carburetor? But they're going to be around. They're always going to be around. Horse and buggies aren't gone, are they? Power stroke. Yes.
Yes.
Love Power Strokes. There is some crappy generations of the Power Stroke that was a piece of shit. Like the 6 guns, I think. But those original Power Strokes, those V8 turbos back in the day, man, those are some haulers right there. That thing will pull a Chevy backwards. See here. Ryan forgot his plug. I got a bad feeling about that one, Gerry.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. I need an in-home options tutor. Oh, well, thank you, or thankfully, Gerry is available. I'll pimp Gerry out.
No, you're not going to do that. But join Randy's Discord. You can, all of us are in there. If you have questions beyond this live stream, I mean, you can be in there and ask it. And there's quite a few knowledgeable people in there besides us. So,
yeah, Gerry will help you do what. So yeah, join the Discord. There's a lot of knowledge in there. Randy's in there, so that's all the knowledge you need. Thumper's in there. Stock Ninja. We're all in there. I don't, I'm not commenting all the time or anything, but I'm available. I have a life. I got people to do, people to see, and things to do, and people to do. Yeah, I think we're rarely use spreads. We're glad people do spreads because yeah, essentially selling. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that, Stock Ninja. Yeah, we don't really use spreads much, but we're selling the legs to them. um, gives us more liquidity. Exactly. Does anyone here own an ID? What the heck's that?
Identification?
You don't own it.
Mm.
I mean, I guess you do. You bought it, you pay for it, right? I mean, I don't know. What the heck are you talking about there, Cody? Jeez. Speak English. Let's see, Nate. Tesla should just buy all the other car companies to make. Yeah, well, the government wouldn't let that happen,
Nope.
right? Yeah, he knows.
They're not going to get rid of. They're not going to get rid of Ford and GM and kick all these factory workers and stockholders and campaign donors to the curb.
Nope. What do all the Jeep people think of Tesla? There's old school people out there that don't want to give up their trucks, and they don't want a freaking Cybertruck. They want an F-150. I mean, she's James up. Is it James? James talking about freaking keeping his Power Stroke. He's probably got an F-250, maybe a 350. So yeah, I don't like. I think that like electricity is great for probably like I don't even want to say that. We do have some truckers here though, but I just don't see that happening. You see 18 wheelers being replaced by that?
Absolutely not.
They go like 1,500 miles on a freaking on their gas tanks
Right.
now.
Right.
They're gonna just pull over the side and charge these humongous batteries up, right?
That's a big issue right there because you have if anybody's ever been to a truck stop, I mean, at night there's hundreds of trucks in these truck stops, in these big truck stops. So you're going to have to need a charger for every single one of them.
Yeah, it's just 50 amps per truck.
Yeah, per truck, every freaking city.
You got a nuclear reactor sitting at a Love's or whatever. Oh man, yeah. There's some issues there. There's a lot of crap they need to figure out. I mean, I've always joked around that the whole freaking trailer is full of batteries. That's what's powering the big rig, let alone the freaking cargo, right? There's some truth to that, but they already weigh a ton. So what is that going to do to the roads, right? I think gasoline weighs like 6 pounds per. I don't know what diesel weighs, but 6 pounds per gallon. I don't know what diesel weighs. It might weigh more.
I think diesel's a little heavier.
So I'm sure the batteries weigh more. 1,500 miles. No one talks about spreads. That's why I like the Hyliion option. You know what I mean?
I did too.
I like the Hyliion option. I know people. Was the Hyliion? Nikola.
No, Nikola.
Yeah, I like the Nikola option. I know a lot of people hated Nikola, thought he was a freaking, snake in the grass. But honestly, it might have been an inefficient fuel option or whatever, but I like the option. You need like kind of a way to charge up the batteries as you go or whatever. It's cheap and redundant or redundant / abundant, I guess. Did I pass one? Shit. When one talks about spreads, buy the spread, that means you're selling the short and buying a long. Yeah, that sounds about right. Buying the spread.
There's a joke in there.
Are you BTO in it? Or are you STO in it? For credit spreads, that is, you can also buy debit spreads, but you say buy the spread. The problem with options is selling and buying doesn't tell you enough. That's the first thing you need to learn when you learn options. We often, even Gerry says it, he'll say it in our chats a lot. I sold this, I sold that. Well, I know what he's talking about. He's selling open, right? He's not normally saying I sold it, taking profit. That's buy to close. Okay, you have to get those right. So just saying I sold an option, you don't know what they're doing. I bought an option. You don't know what they're doing. They could be buying premium, they could be selling premium. So those are the two things you need to know, that those two things right there. So start speaking lingo: buy to close, sell to open, buy to open, sell to close, which we don't normally do.
Right.
But get those things right. Speak in English when you're speaking options, or speak in options terms when you're talking to other options people, or especially when you're not talking to options people, because they're going to get it confused. That's the very first thing I always try to tell people when I get people interested in options. Learn those, because you just don't know what they're doing. And that's half the time when people are coming to Gerry and I and Randy or Thump or whatever, and they're trying to talk and say, hey, can you help us out? Like, I don't know what to do. Well, what are you doing first? You sold a put. What does that mean? Right? You sell to open or sell to close? What view? I made it. Logging in late. You're still on. Yeah, we're still going. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Until I get down to the bottom here, we'll keep running it. People have questions, we'll keep running it. So welcome. I love that cat. I've always loved that cat. I might come steal it from you. See, my rat puts expired worthless. I had 27 strike. The stock stayed. I might throw a riot on next week, Gerry.
I'm gonna have to look at it. I don't know.
I really don't like that type of shit, but
I don't either. But
I can honestly say this: back in like November, December, January, and even part of February, we were pretty aggressive on the shit we were doing. Naked calls, strangles, like even some of like the, I would say some of the positions we pick were kind of more risky, like stuff we're throwing our scanner looking for high IV shit, so why not throw a freaking riot on?
I mean, we were playing Snow and Lemonade and
Fastly,
weird stuff like that. But
we're 27 strike and the stock stayed above 52. Let me see. What's that? Riot. What was the one of premium is down there? 27. Oh, 27? I'd probably go down to 20 if I could, but I would see. I might be willing to throw a 27 on, or 25 or something like that. It's $2,500. It depends on what the pay is. I'll look into it next week. Let's see here. They call it hybrid gas electric. Yeah. We do have hybrids. Those have been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
How long has the Insight been around? That thing's been around a long time.
Toyota, too, has been doing it forever.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the hybrids, and it's always been the problem with hybrids, is they cost way more than a freaking gasoline car.
Not anymore.
Like $10,000 more or something.
Not anymore. They're pretty damn cheap now.
Used to be the problem. I don't know.
Used to be the problem. Yeah, used to be the problem.
If the battery's got to be replaced every 5 years or something, that's a big expensive bill too, You need to have a battery that lasts the lifetime of the car, outlasts the lifetime of the car. I guess you got to think like electric cars are going to put a lot of people out of business, right? And yeah, it might transition to other freaking, is it going to be a 1-for-1 though, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that's wrapped around gasoline cars right now, businesses and stuff. What about when you get to level 5, like that's even more jobs gone, right? I mean, taxis and Ubers and Lyfts and what else? I mean, there's a bunch of other shit, and people say, oh, they'll go to other jobs that got created. Well, I don't think it's going to be a 1-for-1. I honestly don't. We got to tread lightly, folks. This can't happen overnight. This paradigm shift, if we want to call it that, is this a paradigm shift? It's a small one. It's not a major paradigm shift, though. Like, we're not creating a new sector, right? The technology sector, I don't know when that got created, but it didn't exist 40 years ago, 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Well, I don't think it did anyway. It might have been a little longer than that. But are we ever going to have a new sector? Are we going to ever have 12 sectors, right? Like, is there ever going to be a new sector? And what would it be if we do? Because the technology revolution that we had was a major paradigm shift, and almost like going from horse and buggy to cars, right? All those, blacksmiths, buggy makers, wheels, and whatever else, horseshoe people, and all that stuff. They all went out of business eventually, right? And it's just so yeah. Anyways, you get where I'm going with it, right? With a 50K account, cash account, would 200K inputs be rec? Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, big yes.
When does it become too? Yeah, right there is too much.
You go about half that.
100K would probably be okay.
Yeah, half that.
Yeah, and even then, if you're starting out, that could get you in a little bit of trouble. But what
depending
about
on what you're trading? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. What about using stop losses and profit takers? I just don't do it. I don't need to. That's part of it. I don't need to. Now, if you're going away or something like that, it might make sense. You can't look at your phone or whatever. But it's not something I need to do and want to do. It just takes too much work, and I like to manage mine and get the most money I can out of it. Because I'm wondering if you do take a profit taker, does that take it at the mid price or what? I mean, what does that take it at?
Yeah, I guess you can set your price, but I just wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to set it up for each position. I mean, you're talking what 20 some plus positions that you're going to have to sit there and figure out where you want to be, where do you want to go out at, and all that. So it's like, I'd rather manage it myself. If I'm going on vacation and I can't see it, I might close everything out or put on some very conservative stuff,
long dated stuff
that I don't have to worry about.
For in defense of MDB here, it just reminds me of like a database, but MongoDB. There is an option down. It's more advanced, but you can actually add all those tickets all in one, right? And you can have presets too, by the way, 50% up or whatever, and it'll do it for you. So it's not really that much work once you set it up, I'd say. You can probably even do, like a trailing stop or something like that too, where it goes up 70%. As long as it doesn't drop back down 10%, it'll keep going up and trail it or whatever. You can probably do that too. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's just not something I do. I haven't really even looked into it. I might not even be smart enough to figure it out. I don't know.
That's actually interesting because can you set it for take everything if it hits 75% profit? Because there's possibly sometimes
Connor's even doing that. Yeah,
because there's probably sometimes during the day where we might miss something like that.
True. Well,
probably rare.
Gerry, why don't you figure it out and then show us all how to do it?
Yeah, it's probably rare that you would miss that if you're there, but
the 70% and above is it normally sticks there and doesn't really move around. But I believe that you can set the percentage. I'll have to look at it. Normally I'm pretty sure it is percentage. The Theta Gang bot will do it too at a percentage. So yeah, I know you can do it because I've looked at it. You can do a set price or you can do a percentage or something like that too. So yeah, I just don't do it, but maybe I'll look into doing it. I don't know. Because like I said, if you can put it on and it does it for you right when you put it on, that might be okay. But honestly, do you want to have those sitting out there, Gerry? You see all those orders sitting out there for 30 days? I don't.
Yeah, that is true. If it does that, if it fills those orders like that and it goes into your order queue, I wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. There's another option too, because those. Yeah, I don't know. They have to be something out there. It can't just be nothing out there. It's not like IB's monitoring these things without nothing being there. So it's probably an order that's sitting out there. It's a bag order that's just sitting out there, good till canceled or good till filled or whatever. I think Thumper might be able to actually talk about that. I don't know if he's here or not, but we could ask Thumper about it. 50K cardio and margin clock, so I would only sell. Yeah, exactly. Richard's got it there. Market scraper. I get $1 in dividends per 100 share on Oxy, but make like $3 a week on CCs. Oil stocks are interesting for CCs now. Per dividends.
I was actually trying. I've been looking at an oil stock. I was actually looking at Oxy this past week. I was going to wheel either Oxy or actually BP, but I didn't get into it. But I have been looking at oil stocks here lately.
So what you're basically saying, market scraper, is just all dump our dividend freaking portfolios and go into options, is what you're saying.
He's saying dividends are irrelevant.
Yes. I made a video on that, by the way. Said dividends are for chumps, basically. And it was ideally to get people to click on it. It wasn't clickbait necessarily. And I made a bold case for having dividends, right? Call my money. You know, if you fall in a coma tomorrow, you're got to go in under the knife or weaken the freaking, or you go to jail or whatever. I mean, I don't know. For Gerry's case, he's going to go to jail. But in my case, I mean, you know, you go to the knife. I mean, who knows? You want that money just printing for you without you having to do options, right? Randy's a good example of this. He went to the knife recently. You know, he had to take a bunch of shit off. But that coma money, that's a real thing. You need to have some coma money coming in.
Yep.
But you're going to make way more money with options. The biggest problem we face with the government is they do not allow businesses to fail. Yeah, no shit. And fail and have them in reinvent themselves. Yeah. I've talked about this a long time. I see the argument on both sides there because you think about GM, they went bankrupt in what, 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
What about all those people that had the pension? They worked for 30, 40 years, right? On the assembly line or whatever. They deserve to have a damn pension, right? So what do you do with that, right? So I understand why they got bailed out. We need manufacturing. We need cars manufactured here in this country too. You know, I mean, this is, and then the argument on the other side is, well, let the weak go away. The strong survive. Instead of propping up weakness, eventually weakness becomes, you know, they grow up to be a president eventually. You know, we really coddle weakness in this country. I don't like that, right? We promote weakness too. I mean, think about it. You go to school, you know, to get a better paying job. You can reduce your interest, whatever, write your interest off. You get a better paying job, and then you can't write your interest off, right? It promotes people to stay down at a lower level because you get free money and you know, lots of subsidies or whatever. I don't like that about our society necessarily. There's people that need help. They can get the help, right? But I think we reward people to not do good here versus rewarding people that do good. You know what I mean?
I'll agree with that. I mean, there's, you know, there's, I get a lot of flack for this, but it's easy being poor in America. And I don't want to get too far into this, but the hardest person in America, the hardest person to be is the middle-class American. Absolutely 100%.
Well, they're paying the most taxes by far. A lot of times they pay more. They might not pay more dollar-wise than rich people, but they pay a higher percentage usually than rich people. There's a reason why Warren Buffett paid less than what his secretary paid, because Warren Buffett's income all came from investments. His secretary came from salary. That's the reason why. And he probably paid her pretty well, is my guess. But the working man's a chump, honestly, in this country because we pay the most taxes. And I've said this: get in and get out as fast as you can. Make the most amount of money you can in the shortest amount of time, and then switch everything over to investment income. That's what you need to do. That's how rich get richer, by the way. And that's the reason why the poor get poorer too, because they're not invested, right? There's a lot of stuff that he said here, Nate said here, and you know, you can't let GM go away. I understand, but I understand why it needed to go away too. It should have gone away, but I understand why it didn't. You know, we rewarded probably that CEO that drove it in the ground, and they're meanwhile, you know, often, you know, the Bahamas or whatever. Because I remember the bailouts, they're all freaking partying. You know, they get paid millions and millions of dollars in bonuses, even though they drove the company in the ground. That needed to be fixed. Should be fixed. think they're all good. I'm not sure whose Discord that is. I'm assuming it's Randy's. Oh, Randy's.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. Blah, blah, blah. Laugh a lot. Let's see. Was a reference to the MLB moving an all-star game from Atlanta because a few voting laws required an ID. There should be an ID for a vote to vote. What are you talking about? That's some controversial crap, man. You need a freaking ID to vote. Sorry. Some GA companies like Coca-Cola and Delta are in trouble from their support. I think Coca-Cola's headquarters there, if I'm not mistaken. I know they got like a major. I think they have like a museum there for Coca-Cola. So I'm assuming that's where I don't know, the headquarters. I could be wrong.
Pepsi.
Delta. You just opened a can of worms there, Cody. I'll probably, people might freaking start unsubbing if I open up stuff that was to say. This country is so backwards right now. We got COVID issues going on here. Can't even get our freaking kids back to school, but yet they're letting in a bunch of kids at the border and they're going to teach them in person. Come on here, folks. Take care of our own people before we start taking care of other people outside this country, okay? We got a lot of people here that die from opiate addiction, homeless people, vets, suicides. Take care of our own freaking people first. Get your house in order before we start taking care of other people that aren't even freaking citizens of this country yet.
Everybody,
it's common sense.
Everybody type in the comments, Dave 2024.
Oh, man. Jeez. It's just common sense. I don't understand it. Do you sell options when the markets are closed or only when the markets are open? So guess what? Markets don't, options you can't sell when the market's closed. You can't sell it after hours. You can't buy them after hours. It's only open during regular market hours. So that means 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock Eastern. That's it.
Or
there is no before or after with options.
Or 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. for me.
Yeah, if you're Gerry. And if you're in Hawaii, it might be like 4:30 or 5:30 or something. Because we do have somebody from Hawaii in here. Buy the spread, BTO. That's BS. That's BTS, baby. Just messing with them. Can you explain what a strangle is in layman's terms? Gerry, I think you talked about that one. You did a pretty good job explaining it last time. Why don't you talk about a strangle again?
It's selling a put and selling the call on both sides. So you got a strike. Let's say you have a $100 strike. You sell the put, sell it at a $50 strike, collect that money. You sell the call at a $150 strike, collect that money, and you wait. And you
usually pretty extreme ends on both.
Usually, what I try to do is extreme ends to try to make sure that neither one gets breached. But what'll end up happening is as that expiration date comes, one of the two are going to be in a profit or a loss at one point in time. So you can profit on both ends of the spectrum there. And that's what a strangle is. You're choking it out and getting paid on both ends. Problem is especially if the call side, if the stock price shoots up past the call side, you're in big doo-doo. But other than that,
in layman's terms,
you're in big doo-doo. Not big doo-doo. I mean, if it shoots past it a lot, you're in like really big doo-doo, and you better have some money to back yourself up to be able to roll that. So that's kind of what it is. It's just essentially selling a cash secured put on the shorts or the short side or the long. Wait, damn it, short side, and then selling the naked call on the other side. Now you can buy 100 shares and that call won't be naked anymore. You could do that. I think that's what Investor Retire was talking about with Neo. He was buying 100 shares, selling a put as well, and then selling a call which was covered on the other side. That's the safer way to go on a strangle.
Let me just give you an example, MDB here, on what I would, on like Tesla, okay? So I'm looking at a chart on Tesla. An example would be like 1,000 on the call side, okay? And maybe like a 400 on the put side. That would be a good strangle. I'd probably even honestly go higher than 1,000, but you know, you have to weigh that out, right? But that's what I'm talking about, extreme end there. You don't have to be extreme ends when you do a strangle. You can be like one strike up, one strike down. But I mean, that's just, I don't know why you do that, but
just depends on how much cash you want to play with, how bullish you are on the stock, all that. So
I'd say the good pros with doing a strangle is it really doesn't cost you anything to put the other side on. And the other thing is you can make money if the stock goes up or goes down right away versus, you know, if you're doing a cash secure put, you're making the money right away if it goes up, but the stock goes down, you're not really making any money, right? So it's great when the market's kind of up and down all over the place. Yeah, obviously we don't know what the market's going to do, but it's nice to have some naked calls on or some strangles on every once in a while because you at least can take those things off on the down days and then put some new shit on. But
yeah,
I haven't done a strangle in quite a while.
I haven't either. So you hit the nail on the head. The advantage of a strangle, that's what I was trying to say, is on an up day, your put's going to be in profit. You can take that profit. On a down day, your call's going to be in profit and you can take that profit. And I did that a lot in December. So it was like every day, if we had an up day, I was profiting on my puts, buying back my puts. If we had a down day, I was buying back my calls and making profit there. So it was like a constant cycle. But I did a lot of trades in December. I think I did a few hundred trades in December to do that, right? And you're talking multiple trades a day, scalping $20-$30 on each trade. It's a lot of work.
One strategy with that is you can wait for an up day to sell the call side, sell it to open the call side. Yes. And then maybe 2 or 3 days later, maybe the stock drops and then you put on the put side. In most cases, you know, you probably take the call side back off, but I can say that I really didn't do that, but that would be a strategy you could do. You don't have to put them on at the same time.
No.
You can wait a week in between. You can wait a day in between. You can put them on at the same time. It doesn't really matter. But also to differentiate, that's a hard one to say, Gerry, between a strangle and a straddle. A straddle is normally a put and a call, same strike, right? So you think Tesla's going to have good earnings, you know, and it's going to go up at least 10% or 20% or whatever. I've already talked about in previous streams how you figure out how much move it's going to make. I'm not going to talk about it in this one, but and then you just buy or sell. I've never done a straddle. So most people I don't think ever sell them. They think they're always buying them. You're going to buy a put, you're going to buy a call, and you're going to hope that the stock makes a big enough move in either direction to pay for the loss on the other side. That's how that works. You guys both compliment each other. Excellent live stream. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Like I said, we have Beauty and the Beast here.
Yep.
I am the beast.
Flip a coin.
Do you guys use any specific strategy to optimize the capital usage? Example, selling one Amazon or Tesla uses a lot of buying power, but going for more contracts. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the stream. I think it's like a personal basis. For me, I'd rather go safer with more contracts. But that's me. But I might have to change that. I don't know. Thumper, I can speak for him, even though he's not here. And he likes to go more risky on his strikes, but with less contracts. He says it gives him more room to add more if he wants down the road. If it goes against him. So as far as the answer to the question here, I don't really optimize. Thumper does. He wants to get like 1 to 1.5% return for his money. For that, you know, for 30 days or whatever, I don't care. I just look at a chart. I'm like, I want to be here. And then whatever the premium it normally pays, I normally, you know, if it's like T or something like that, I'll put on a boatload of those. If it's Tesla, I'll put on one. If it's $100 or something like that. I think everybody's different there. Even you're different slightly, Gerry, but I think you might follow more of what I'm doing versus what Thumper does.
Yeah, I follow probably more on your line. I don't pay attention to the percentage of buying power. I just look at, am I happy making $50, $60 on this trade? Am I happy with that?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. What Thumper does, he looks at the buying power. You're right. He looks at, okay, if it's a $10,000 impact, right? He needs to make $100 on that, or he won't get into it, or more. Right. So he needs to make that 1%. Me, I just, okay, I'm happy with that 100, or I'm happy with the 80. I'm happy there as long as it's safe enough, deep enough that it won't get challenged. Thumper doesn't mind being challenged. He doesn't mind managing the positions if they are challenged. I'd rather not manage a position and be challenged on that. If I can limit those as much as possible, that's what I'll do. And if that means getting safer and not getting as much premium, I'm okay with that.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I might try to venture into not necessarily what he's doing, but maybe a little bit more riskier strikes, more probability, I guess. Higher delta, I guess, is another way to put it. So I'm gonna probably try to start doing that on some more safer stocks, though. I'm always in an Apple, I'm always in a Microsoft. Might as well go a little bit more riskier on those, right? So those more solid plays. I'm willing to go up to like a 10% probability or something like that instead of the 5. Yeah, I'm curious what Thumper does, as it appears he is watching the buy. Yeah, he definitely is. I bust his balls all the time about it. What are you putting this Tesla on? Only pays, 0.01%. That's what he always tells me, I'm like, well, because it's not going to get tested. It's like, I understand. We all have a different way of doing it. That's the reason why he probably makes more money than I make, right? But I don't have to deal with all the bullshit he has to deal with on a 2% down day, It is what it is. You have to find out what works for you. What are you comfortable with? How much will the solar panels cost if the pipeline workers are making them? That's a funny one.
No.
I think the pipeline workers got paid way more than $90K.
They just need to go learn to code. Everything will be fixed.
They gotta learn how to code. Everybody can learn how to work in Python. Come on.
Yeah, some 50-year-old dude, that's got his hands are all calloused and thick and his palms are all he's gonna go code, right? Yeah.
Oh, Gerry, you're just rubbing people here, buddy.
Sorry.
To make them cost number one, I think a lot of those pipeline people up there made more than $90K. They're probably into the 6 figures pretty easily. Is it 6 figures?
Probably.
Yeah, 6 figures. Sorry,
especially on top of benefits and everything else.
6 figures. That's 5 figures. Yeah. So my guess is, because I know those like North Dakota, South Dakota people were making bank up there. That's a wasteland now, right? Yeah. I think I mentioned this. There's no reason to stop that pipeline. Right. Literally the day after the day of I take office. Right. He could have waited. He didn't have to do it right there. Right? Why would you cut these jobs in the middle of a pandemic, right? And the wall jobs, okay? It's already paid for, right? A lot of the stuff was already paid for. The shit's there. Contracts paid for. And then you just cut all those people's jobs at the wall and the pipeline. You could have waited just a little bit, right? Until the pandemic's over or whatever. And then did it. It's just common sense.
Yeah. Phase it out. Don't just, okay.
I'm not saying, hey,
slips.
If that's what he wanted to do, he wanted to get rid of the pipeline, that's fine. I disagree with that completely. But he could have waited, right? That still goes against what I believe he should have did, right? Even waiting's better than just cutting it. I'm saying he shouldn't have got rid of it, period. But I'm not going that far. I'm just saying, hey, you're a Democrat. You're supposed to be a moderate. Freaking just wait. You're in the middle of a pandemic. We need jobs right now. Jesus. 2024. Yeah. 2024.
Dave 2024.
Oh, man. I did a buy and write on BP because of your buy right. That must have been your video.
Yep, right on. I was looking to do it too. I was looking this Friday, or this past Thursday, I should say. Almost pulled the trigger.
Yeah, go check out Gerry's video on the options he did on Wednesday. He does one every Wednesday. And I haven't done an options video in a while. I mean, it's because it's not much of a viewership for it.
Yeah, they don't do very well, but
no, I haven't built the viewership for it. But it's normally on Wednesday because I don't want to waste the Saturday video on an options video. That's the reason why I don't do them on Saturdays. And then on Wednesday, it's really not worth my time. They just don't do anything. Yeah. I really want to. It's just I don't know if it's worth my time. Fortunately.
I try to keep it real simple. I hope.
Yeah, diesel 8 pounds a gallon. Yeah, that's more than water. I think gas is 6 point something. I think water's like 7.
Yeah,
I didn't know diesel weighed more though. That's interesting. Jeez, there you go, Gerry.
That's I got to consider that when me and my wife go get our RV, because you
gonna get a diesel or you're gonna get a gas.
That's I think diesel's gonna be longer lasting, but I don't know. It depends. Gas is definitely going to go up in price.
I'd say the great thing about diesel is number one, it doesn't turn into turpentine, so you can let it sit for years. Number two, if you have it old enough, like prior to like 2004-ish or something, you don't got to have all that bullshit on there, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is I think you can run a generator off of it, right? You can have a diesel heater in there. There's a lot of shit you can do with it, right?
Yep. Definitely considering it.
Get in and get out. We talk about options here? Everybody knows my my sense of humor, if you know what I'm saying there. Preach, preach. See, get in, get out. Wow. Story of my life. Yeah. That's how you make a kid. Last week, I accidentally pressed buy to open and set it. Oh, my God. We've all done that. Yeah. Burn a $20 bill just like that.
Exactly.
Rookie move. We've all done that. Do you guys ever? Yes, I did it just recently, actually. Or sometimes I've done it when even with common as well. Like I'm selling 200 shares of something, right? And I hit it twice or whatever. So not only did I sell 200 shares, I went 200 shares negative, which means you're short the stock. I've done that mistake as well. But yes, I do this every once in a while. I do this. What about you, Gerry?
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times, and I did it. I did it like 3 times in a row.
And also to mention here, if you're using the strategy builder and stuff, it might just say buy on there or submit.
Yeah, it just says submit.
And it's the opposite because you're actually buying it, even though you're going short or whatever, and then you got to go back there and sell it. So just when you're doing like bag orders in IB, be aware of that. It's the opposite.
I sold one, right? Or I bought one, and I thought I was getting more than the bid ask, the spread there. And it filled so quick. I was like, oh crap, I'm a genius. I'm gonna go sell another one. So I did it again.
Oh, you sold another one? Oh man, I got a good price. I'm going to put another one on.
Yeah.
Really? Like, oh my God.
That was funny.
Oh man, that's a $20 bill.
And I did it right at 6:30 because I just woke up. I'm freaking groggy. I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, cool.
And then the premium gets taken out, and then you're really screwed.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah. So we've all done that. And I think it's something you're always going to do every so often, period. I mean, it's just part of the game. Trying to think if there's no real like I have mine arm. I'm a one-click thing, buy and sell. That's it. So if I click the wrong button, yeah, for sure, it'll screw up. And that's the problem I had with PMCC. So that's a good point. PMCCs, you're buying one. You're buying the leap.
You're buying the leap.
You have to be aware of that. And then you're selling the short call. So there's 2 going on there. You got to always keep, because I'll tell you what, if you screw up on buying one of those leaps and you sell one by mistake, to buy it back, you're going to screw yourself out of money immediately. A bunch of money, too.
Hundreds of dollars.
Yes. So if you're doing a PMCC, make sure you are right on what you're doing. You're buying the leap, you're selling the short call. And then when you're going to buy it back, make sure you got those right, too. Please share opinion of Cash Me Outside. What the? Cash Me Outside girl making $1 million on OnlyFans. Her first week of being 18. Tits and ass. It sells. What are you talking about, freaking Cody? Jeez. Sex is always sold since the beginning of time. I don't know what he's trying to say, Gerry.
This next one's interesting.
Can you quickly explain a reverse iron arbitrage spread? Is this like the triple humpback whale strategy?
I'm wondering. That's the thing. I'm wondering. Wait, is this serious or is it a joke?
It's very reverse.
It sounds like it could be a real thing.
Yeah, we come up with a lot of our own, honestly. Triple humpback whale. I mean, what's another one we've come up with? Rich man's cover call. I mean, Jay Lizard. That's a real one. Zebra. I mean, broken condor or what? I mean, broken wing iron condor. Yeah. I think that's actually a real name for it because you're taking iron condor is really just two spreads, right? And then you take one spread off. I think that's a broken wing, isn't it? Or is it actually taking one leg of spread off? Is that a broken wing?
It's just the options. I don't know why. I think that's one issue with a lot of people that get into options is they don't want to accept that simply selling a cash secured put is a viable option. They think
the more complicated it's called, the more money you're going to make.
Exactly. The more complicated it is, the more complex the trade is, the more legs you put on, the more profit potential you got. And that, to me, is just simply not true.
No, more commissions, more management. Yeah, definitely not true at all. There's some good strategies out there to protect yourself and all that. That's normally what they're used for, or people with small accounts, stuff like that. But I don't know if this is real or not. We should have Googled it, but quickly at 5 years old, I don't know about that. Gerry, this is yours.
No.
Oh, man, he's busting our balls.
I think so, too. I'm going to just say don't do it.
Yeah. Wow, boy. Interesting. I'm currently doing the wheel. I like the wheel. Yeah. I like the wheel. I just don't do it. I probably wheel mostly in my tax-deferred account, which I don't have any free cash in there to wheel anyway. But I would probably wheel in that account maybe after I retire. I'll have more cash available in that account. I'll wheel in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I
didn't like the wheel.
Yeah.
But I moved past the wheel for what I'm doing in my options account. There's no reason to be wheeling in there. I don't really have any desire to own any stock in there. But let's see. I don't want to play an option unless I'm happy holding the company. That's kind of like the default thing that everybody says. Sell to open a cash secured put on a company you don't mind owning at a price you don't mind getting it at, right? That's the default. That's a great way to start. Get somebody into covered calls and in cash secured puts, right? Companies they don't mind owning. I agree with that. And but we're moved past that. We don't even want to own the companies anymore. We're like on a no assignment strategy, right? But I'm not saying your strategy is wrong. I would do that strategy if that was the only strategy that I knew or something like that, or was taught or whatever. Yeah. I think you can make good money with this strategy right here, especially if the stock kind of just stayed, anemic, right? Didn't really do anything, just stayed. Yeah, because the problem is, right, we've talked about this. It goes down, you get it at a good price, and then it continues to go down, right? And then what do? You can't make any money on the call side.
Stock selection is key for sure.
Upper will say add another contract, buy another, sell another put, or add another 100 shares. That's valid, right? But what if it goes down to 0, right? Company selection for sure. One issue I do have is I don't want to sell my calls once I own the shares. That's a valid problem. I had the problem with VYM.
Yeah,
I'm not, going to realize an $18,000 gain in VYM, 9 contracts, 10 contracts, or whatever. You have to be. You're going to roll it then, right? You could roll it, but that could be a double-edged sword or whatever as well. Because if the company runs, then you're not going to be able to get ahead of it, and you're going to be screwed. You get brokued. So yeah, I don't know. I would just let it get taken away, honestly.
Yeah, I would too.
Obviously, I don't know if Allgood's still here or not, but she would say go for the juicy premium, like one strike up, I got paid $300, and then it's like one day later, it's already at the strike,
Yep.
That's juicy premium syndrome. Don't go for that. Look at a chart. Okay, it's got resistance here, right? It's got a 200 period moving average. It's not above it. It's going to sit at that 200 period moving average, right? Or it's going to sit at that resistance. Put your strike right above that if you can. And always make sure your strike is above your cost basis. Y'all still going? Y'all here? Y'all still going now? Yeah, we're still going.
Y'all come back now here.
How's the oil stocks doing there, Gerry?
My oil stocks?
Oil stocks doing all right?
I sell my oil stocks and I use it XOP and XLE for my oil.
Oh, Gerry. This cracks me up. Trying to talk like Randy here. I don't know if he talks like that or not, but I don't know if I've ever heard him talk and say oil before. I had a whole meal. And you know what I said? A whole meal reminds me of old school. When whatever his name is, the guy that goes streaking, and he calls up his wife because they're separated or whatever. Yeah, I was kind of wondering, do you want to go out and maybe sit down and have a whole meal of food? It always just cracked me up when he said that.
Whole meal.
When we all fire, come to Maui and let's have cocktails together. Hopefully Gerry's RV can make it over the Pacific Ocean. Is there a ferry? How do you get a freaking RV over there? Just buy an RV.
I'm sure there's shipping options for that.
Flying from Travis to Hickam. You're not in the military, but I mean, I didn't retire from the military, but I mean, yeah. The only thing I'm going to say here is Mikaru, if that's how you pronounce it, is we got to have a luau. We got to have a luau, and we got to have some pig. Okay.
The pig is key.
The pig is key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. What brokers do you recommend for options and tax deferred account? Gerry, that's an interesting one. Are you doing what we're doing here? Or are you just trading occasional, wheel strategy or whatever? Because you can probably get away with any broker then.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to trade options on the daily type of thing, that's one thing. If you want a tax deferred account that you're holding really long stock and you're going to do covered calls and things like that, any broker. I like my Fidelity account. I really do. They also have a platform, a separate platform for options. I haven't learned it, but it just depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to heavily trade options, you really want a real, account or a real broker like Interactive.
A fat client.
Yeah.
Like literally install a platform on your laptop or desktop that you're loading up. It's Java-based or Java-based usually. Unless it's Windows, it might be .NET or something. But yeah, like TOS. installing TOS, right, for TD Ameritrade. And hopefully, when you're getting out of jail, I mean, no, I'm just trying. I came from casino. Hopefully, Schwab pulls in TOS soon. I mean, this year, maybe. I don't know. That'd be great. That way you can trade, Schwab account with TOS, and that'd be great. But yeah, for me, tax deferred, I'd probably even Schwab right now. I don't have any plans of opening any other tax deferred accounts. So mine's at Schwab right now. We're getting close to the end, Gerry. So we'll call it here soon. Good night, guys. Wish everybody a great trading Monday.
Absolutely.
And he's trying to like slowly jab wish in there. Trade wish. See, I'm gonna do options on Neo this week because of Joey B's infrastructure plan. I don't know who Joey B is, number one. I don't know what infrastructure has to do with Neo. That $3 trillion, hardly any of it's going to infrastructure. So what are we talking about here? Give me a Rosetta Stone there for what you're saying. Resistance, technical analysis, baby. Abso-freaking-lutely. We're down the bottom. Interesting.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Not bad.
Easter, everybody's calling it quits.
For an Easter.
Yeah, for Easter. So, yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Gerry if you're not already. Gerry is a big instrumental part of what we're doing here because he's the level-headed person. And I'm more of like not the talent.
On the streams, I'm level-headed.
Yeah, that's
not
just
in real life
stuff, Gerry behind the scenes and stuff. That's my excuse anyway. Yeah, so I always try to put Gerry's in every one of these streams. His link is down in the description. Basically, I'm doing an @ down there. I think that's the link. Is it the same thing?
Sort of.
The @ Gerry, whatever it's called. I think it works. You just click on that. You go to Gerry's channel. Subscribe to Gerry. And Matt Money, go subscribe to Matt Money and a bunch of other people in here. Dan, Cody, Ryan, Market Scraper, Investing Sensei, who wasn't here tonight. Who else did I miss anybody else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think I missed any either. So, hey, people. Thanks a lot for joining. We'll see you next week. Just have a good week, Gerry.
Absolutely. I'm looking to put some crap on.
You gonna take some shit out to put some shit on? I need to put some shit on and take some shit off, but yeah. Well, thank you for that. Everybody have a great week. Hopefully the week's doing good. Futures are still up right now, so let's keep our fingers crossed that we have a good week and we hit new record highs again. So, okay, everybody, we'll see you later.